Good morning, and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Yesterday, we explored a vicious cycle which lies right at the root of addictive compulsions. In a nutshell, we utilize addictive antidotes to relieve our stress, only, sadly, ironically, to ultimately add more stress owing to the increasing shame that attaches inevitably to addiction. And then, sadly, we resort to even more addictive behaviors in hopes of reducing this further stress and shame, and on it goes. but I promise to come back today and begin to lay down with you, brick by brick, practical solutions to this vicious cycle we discussed yesterday. Let's start here. Let's start by asserting that we need to make one crucial distinction for sure, and that's the distinction between toxic shame on the one hand and rightful guilt on the other. You'll remember from our previous conversations that we've discussed shame or defined shame as representing our emotional reaction to when we feel threatened, either by social rejection and or direct blows to our self-esteem. You remember how we talked about two sides of a coin. For our purposes here, shame is seen as only ever being toxic, but it must not be confused with rightful guilt. Here's how it goes. Guilt tells me I've done something bad. Without guilt, I never change my behaviors, even when they're bad. And without it, I can never make amends to repair ruptures or breaks in important relationships. But shame, on the other hand, is a whole other thing. Shame tells me I am something bad. So the key distinction here is that guilt focuses on my behavior, which I can change. Shame, on the other hand, focuses on me as a person, and that's something that's way more difficult to change. Come back tomorrow when we dive a bit deeper by focusing on a far too common error right at the heart of how it is that we frequently confuse guilt and shame. And I want to say this, in the case of addiction, that confusion is most often at a great, great cost. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow.